The 50th anniversary year of the Adidas Superstar is an absolute monster. They're dropping bombs all over the place. Massive sneakers all the way through spring, summer and fall, and as we move into winter, they're not letting up at all. We've had huge shoes throughout the year. The Pradas were massive. The Star Wars tie-ups, some of them were insane, including that incredible Star Wars Darth Vader sneaker, which was out of this world. And then you also had the Craig Green tie-up, which is an amazing collaboration, extremely expensive. Well, the price is well inflated above the normal Superstar price, but it's a unique shoe, totally unique take on the Superstars. And then here we are with the latest from the line, which is a tie-up, not with one person, but two people, if you like. We've got Miles Morales in one corner and the PlayStation in the other. Now, I have history of doing Adidas shoes where there's a collaboration with two different things going on at once, and it didn't go well. So hopefully today, this video will go a little bit better than the first time that I did a double collaboration sneaker with the Adidas line. So let's get into it and have a look at this upcoming release of the Adidas Superstar Miles Morales PlayStation. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel です。毎日アップするので、毎日見てください. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And today, what we've got in the spotlight is an Adidas Superstar, which is a tie-up with two things: Miles Morales and the PlayStation. Now, there's a kind of, I don't know if I'm cheating by saying it's two things, because Miles Morales, Spider-Man game on PlayStation, so it's really a tie-up with one thing, but it feels like two things, the Spider-Man element and the PlayStation element, and they are both sort of respected in the shoe. It's not like it's just the PlayStation side or just the Spider-Man side, and we'll get into all of that today as we look at this. Like I said, 50th anniversary of one of the most iconic silhouettes of all time, and a bit like the Air Force One over at Nike, which is I think 38 years old this year. The silhouette hasn't changed much at all. I'm sure the technology that holds it together, the materials that hold it together, and that, the actual construction of the shoes probably changed, but the physical look of it, with that classic shell toe, that very simple upper on there with the three-stripe branding on the side, really hasn't changed much down the years. And here we are celebrating the 50th anniversary year, which is kind of incredible, if you ask me. And what we're going to do today is we're going to have a look at this shoe from a lot of different angles, because there's a few things on it that are kind of surprising. There's one particular thing, and I want you to try and guess what it is, which feature. If you watch my channel a lot, you'll know where my kind of thinking goes and what my kind of thinking style is. And there's one thing on this shoe that really catches my eye out of all the little details on there. So try and guess what that is as we take a look at this shoe today. And we're going to go through it little by little, like I usually do with shoes, take it apart piece by piece, look at the main points on it, the main elements of branding, the main construction elements on it, and make that decision about what works and what doesn't work. So we'll start off by looking at the overall shoe. It's not black and white. Kind of seems like an odd thing to say, but the kind of traditional standard Superstar is black and white. If you think back to the first, I don't know, the first spiky hype on the Superstars, you'd go into the mid-80s with Run DMC, and that classic black with white three-stripe branding look, or white with black three-stripe branding look, is the definitive Superstar look, but not today. Today it's all about a red shoe with black detailing on it, which is that tie-up to the Spider-Man costume and Spider-Man's kind of theme colors in a way. So all in all, like whole shoe, when we're looking at the whole shoe, those two colors tend not to be the kind of base for a shoe. It's usually black and white or white and black, but today it's red that dominates. So but it's a great look. I do like my red shoes, and I'm careful about which ones I buy. The last pair I bought was the Air Jordan 3 cement reds, which is a beautiful shoe. So I do like my red shoes, and I do like the look of this. It's got it, it's got everything in the right place as far as I'm concerned, looking at the whole shoe. But then looking at the details, things aren't quite so right. So we're going to go and zoom in on that classic shell toe that I was talking about before. Now you've got to remember that this shoe is a collaboration with PlayStation and a collaboration with particularly the Spider-Man game, the Spider-Man franchise. And we'll get into other elements of PlayStation and Spider-Man later in the video, but right now we're zoomed in on that classic shell toe rubber, at the front of the shoe, and then the rest of the shoe all in leather. And I think they could have done more here. This design, which is the classic the classic Superstar design shell toe, it lends itself perfectly to a spider's web. Why didn't they put some features on there? I mean, if you go back to the Darth Vaders, they had Darth Vader's face on the shell of the shell toe. So if they can do that, they surely could have done something on here to give it more of a spider web effect. But for some reason, they chose not to go down that route. There is only one hit of Spider-Man, and there's only one hit of PlayStation on the shoe. So it feels like to me this is a chance missed. They could have done a little bit more with that shell toe. And then we go back from that just ever so slightly to the bottom of the lacing system and the Dubrays on there. And what is there, which is maybe not particularly unexpected, is the PS for PlayStation. But there's two unique things about it that maybe people out there aren't catching on. And when I tell you this, you'll be like, oh, you know what? That's true. And what I'm talking about is usually the PS of PlayStation is seen in a sort of spectrum of colours running from, say, blue through to red, with greens and oranges and along the way. Usually it's that spectrum of colours, but you can see here it's red on a black background, which represents the colour of the shoe, but doesn't necessarily represent the sort of PlayStation branding. And then the other thing about it is that there's not a number there. Often you would see PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and given that the PlayStation 5 has dropped very, very recently, that could have been a chance to push the PlayStation 5 down there, or look back to the PlayStation 4. Either way, they decided to go with PlayStation itself, just the PS and nothing more. So there's two kind of unique elements to that Dubray on there, is the colour and then also the lack of a number, which they could have done on that feature. And then coming back a bit from there, we'll kind of look at the tongues and the branding and the Superstar on the side all as one, mainly because there's nothing to look at. What I mean is that the tongues aren't very special. There's nothing unique on there. Black tongues, red branding, 3-stripe branding on the side, 3 black stripes on the red background, and then the 3rd stripe has parallel to it the standard Superstar insignia beside that that final stripe. Nothing special at all except for just the colours on here. And again, I feel like there's 2 places they could have done more. The tongue branding a little bit extra up there to give it a bit more pop, and then the Superstar on the side. That's where Run DMC have put a unique branding on the side of the latest version of their Superstars. That's where Craig Green did it for his really, like I said, hype and super expensive take on the Superstars, which is just last week's video, I think. So they could have done something on the side, you know, Superstar, Spider-Man. There surely is some kind of tie-up there, Spider-Star, Spider-Man, Superman. Well, I can't go with Superman and a Spider-Man shoe, but there surely is some kind of tie-up that they could have done to put Spider-Man or something like that on the side of the shoe instead of Superstar. But they didn't. Like I say, there's only 2 hits of branding on the shoe, and we've already seen one, which was the PS and the Dubrays, and we're getting to the other because we've come to the back of the shoe, and you'll already be able to see, and I'll go full frontal on it now, and you can see that the branding panel on the back is black, and what it has on it is that net, that web. That's the word I'm looking for, the web detailing, and then in the middle of that web, the spider for Spider-Man. And like I said, if you think about that kind of detail and that kind of branding on the back of the shoe, it isn't too hard to think about what that shell could have looked like in terms of putting some kind of spider web or spider branding on the front of the shoe. But like I said, only 2 places, the Dubrays for PS, and then the web and the spider on the back branding panel. And then we get to my favourite point. Like I said, I was giving you time to think about what it is about the shoe that I like. And the thing that I really like, and you don't see this very often on Superstars, is if you look at the lateral or the medial side, and you get a real strong sense of the black midsole, and then below that the red outsole. And there's something about that that I really like. I think I'm right in saying, you know, I can't say I've logged this or thought about it that much, but in reflection, I think I'm right in saying that Superstars usually have a single tone, all white midsole and outsole unit, or all black or whatever. But to see this with that black midsole and then the red outsole, especially from the side, it looks really, really nice. Of course, if you flip them upside down and look at the entire outsole, you get this massive splash of red. But like I said, when you look at it from the side, it's a really cool little line and little feature, and it's a great way for me to end this video. So that's my take on this shoe. I like it. I think it's a good looking shoe. There's a lot of details on there, but I do think there are chances missed. They could have done a little bit more with certain branding places on this shoe to make it even pop even more. But still, very nice shoe, very nice double collaboration from the Adidas Superstar line. Okay, time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. I'm shooting this video on Thursday night. It's probably going to go up on Saturday, Thursday the 12th, going up on Saturday the 14th. So I hope you guys are doing well out there. Hope everything's fine. And I'll just do what I do at the end of every single video, which is to tell you that I do this every single day. And that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.